Bigbossjock, day 83 of the protest, episode 53 of the radio show. My 750 kilohertz AM. Soy yo, je suis hablando al revés, soy yo. A veces me pasa en mi escritura también. Y cuando la persona, mi caso, el yo, sufre bastante trauma ahí en el cerebro, dislexia, es que pasa. Entonces, es una muestra que yo conscientemente estoy recordando bastante abuso. Mucho, causando que de hablar, la forma, está inhibido. All right, good afternoon. Saying hi to the public on a protest. Hear the Sintonia? We're all right here. God's inside of all of us. We're on the journey to liberate ourselves. At the same time, in order to do that, we make our connection with our one only God stronger than ever. And that's where we turn our attention. In doing so, we find freedom, no longer enslaved through manipulation, which uses shame, keeps people in their place. That's what happens when the people participate in fornicating. Their ways of yesteryear travel with them, decade after decade, even though they change their ways. And so many of you know, because you went past that age, you're older, you're wiser. You would have never chose the ways of your younger years. Others, you're right there, doing the same, repeating. You're locked. You'll be there forever. By the way, the people need to choose to drop fornicating as a sexual practice to be able to get out of the MK Ultra program. Their sexual practice correlates to their drug abuse. Alcohol is the number one offender. Also, what is used, because it isn't a person, it's the person that chooses. It's not the alcohol's fault, neither the gun. It's the person. Mental disorder, alcohol, fire water. That's what the Yankee imperialist indulges in. And for that matter, a big part of the world. Most of the world. Alcohol is right there at the center also. It accompanies the fornicating. And not in every case, but as overall, yes. There's other ways to enjoy life. Not fornicating and being free, not enslaved to the shame. With idols dictating, Yankees ham drumming the beat. Look at this, what the people are doing on the big picture. What a waste. And it's centered around fornicating. Now, in that way, I understand what they're thinking, because it's such a great feeling. But then they realize that it has the downside. Okay, take that downside, you're going to have that forever on a spiritual basis for practicing those ways. That's how it ends. When the end of the road is the Inferno, because that's where people go when they practice being immoral. It's logical, because in paradise, it's a place where more than nice. That's why it's called paradise. It's our one only Allah, Father in heaven, His kingdom. People do not engage in fornicating. That's not acceptable. Doesn't mean that some of those people didn't practice that in their lives, though. They did, and they were allowed through the doors once more and again. And that's why in the future it might not work that way, the way I'm understanding. I'd say most probably. So I don't want to turn anyone away. What's happened, if you were born onto this earth, and now it's almost anyone. Doesn't matter what generation, it's been going on so long. Subjected to subliminal programming. The reason spiritually we come to this earth is to be able to make decisions. And if we choose a path which leads back, when we end here on this earth, we pass on, we return to paradise. If on this path we choose to practice the ways where it stays pace with what goes on in the Inferno, that's where one goes, continuing on with their ways. What doesn't happen on the programming is this being explained. It's the other way. It's a shame. Also, the people are given a break, I think, because by our one only God, redemption, as prophesied, judgment day, decide. They can open their eyes or continue on being deceived. Turn into Yankee Sam, placing their faith with that. The government, the Oval Office, names that, and that's not where the power is. So I said the word, the phrase. That's yesteryear. Alamo, that'll be the capital in this territory. Known as the 13 colonies. The red, white, and blues become a symbol of tyranny. The stripes and stars, all during the Cold War. If the foe didn't exist, which at that time was the Soviet Union, oh, imagine all that money, how we would live. And talk about all the cuts if they were made, well, the reallocation to the schools, they could get this much money, and that public works over there could get that many, and the fictitious sums. That could be a reality if they ever achieved the objective, which was to do away with the foe, the other empire. That did happen. It was achieved. The problem is the utopia never came about because of a planned enemy, terrorism, which existed before the end of the Cold War for decades. As I wrote, it was written there in the poem, for centuries more. It's a tactic used whenever the person is disgruntled and they take action. That action's termed terrorism by the leading regime. I say often, maybe there's some exceptions on certain incidences, but over the years, that's how that is termed. And Yankee Sam's on an indefinite war on something that's always existed. Bigbossjock signing off momentarily. The one only God right here inside. He's who helps me do this rhyme. And I do say, thank you. Soy yo, el gran jefe. Al entro a mí, nuestro único Dios, nuestro Señor. Y yo digo, gracias por su ayuda. A nuestro Allah. Firmando fuera.